Okay, this is the same bowl I threw the other day, but now it's halfway dry. It's not all the way bone dry. You can tell that because it hasn't started changing color at the edge. It still feels cool because the water is evaporating from it still. It's soft enough to make a mark with your thumbnail very easily, but it's stiff enough to hold itself up upside down. You can pick it up. You don't leave fingerprints as easily. Some people call this cheese hard because you can distinguish between cheddar and Parmesan and, brie, and when you're talking about degrees of stiffness of the clay. I'm looking at this before I put it down on the wheel, and I'm noticing what the inside shape is like. This is basically curved. It's almost like a hemisphere. And I can feel how thick the bottom is. And I can feel how thick the walls are at the side toward the bottom. And I can make decisions about how much clay I want to cut off. The painful part of all this process for people to learn is how to turn it upside down, put it back on the wheel, and get it centered again. Because it has to be centered in order to make the foot ring in the right place. As the wheel is turning, I can see this. I'm holding my finger still, and one side of the pot hits my finger and the other one doesn't. So I can use a tool to make a scratch mark. I'm holding the tool still, and it touches in some places and not others. So I can stop the wheel and see where the scratches are and move the pot from the scratch side toward the center a little bit and try it again. And I'm going to keep doing that till it's close enough for who it's for. If you have a pot that's kind of wonky and you have to choose between making the foot centered and the rim centered on the wheel head, choose the foot because that's where you're going to be cutting. And that's close enough for me. So in order to stick the pot down on the wheel so it doesn't fly off sideways, I'm making a couple fat worms, and I'm sticking them down on the side of the rim, left and right, east and west at the same time, so I don't have as much chance of pushing it off center. And I'll turn the wheel 90 degrees, so that's north and south now. I'll do east and west again, trying to push down on the clay rather than sideways. And I'm taking the big loop tool, the trimming tool that came in the kit, bracing my elbows. I'm holding the tool tight in my right hand. I can change the angle of the tool, but I've got a really good grip on it. I'm using the longest finger of my left hand to press down in the very center, and I'm bracing my hands together with my thumb. And I can hold the tool still here on the right-hand side of the foot and start cutting away. Sometimes I use the small end of the tool to really dig in. And if the clay is a nice leather hard or cheese hard, you get these chocolate curls of clay. And I'm cutting away some of the side of the bottom. Make a nice curve up the side of the wall of the bowl. Now I've determined where the outside of the foot should be this time. I think that's about right. So now I'm going to use the small end of the same big loop tool to cut a deep trench where the inside of the foot should be. So now I can always make that a little thinner. But I start in the very center of the bottom and cut to the side and dig out that space. I've chosen to make that foot sort of like just a fat round ring for the bowl to sit on. I like to use my fingertips to push hard down on the what's now the top of the foot will be the bottom of the foot where it hits the table, to take away the scratchiness and any tiny sharp edges on it. And I like to use the rounded rib, the edge of the rounded rib, to smooth out the scratchy marks left by the trimming tool. And there's a little ghost of the pinhole that I made when I gauged the thickness of the foot to start with. I make sure and fill that in. And then I pick it up and see how the bowl feels. I was a little chicken. I could have trimmed some more, but it's a sturdy mixing bowl kind of bowl. It'll do. So I decide I'm done, and I stamp it with my signature stamp and set it aside to dry.